Hey, glad you came back for another video. In today's episode of me losing my mind over a bunny murder horror game, I will be explaining my take on MoltenMCI, Happiest Day, and the Vengeful Spirit, as well as FNAF 6's ending, and how I think those all connect to each other. Confused yet? I was too. Believe me. So let's break it down. I'm gonna start by explaining MoltenMCI, in case someone isn't familiar with what that is. MoltenMCI is a very popular theory that suggests that the spirits of the original missing children, aka the MCI, were collected by William Afton and injected into the Funtime animatronics. The Funtimes went on to become Ennard, meaning that the missing children now shared a vessel with Elizabeth Afton. Elizabeth was later kicked out by the group for being too bossy. The MCI became Molten Freddy and Elizabeth became Scrap Baby. Now, I mostly agree with this theory except for one kind of crucial detail. I don't believe that the literal ghosts of the missing children are possessing Molten Freddy, only their remnant. Let me explain. Remnant is this soul energy that can bind, well, souls to objects, like the animatronics. It can take the form of this silvery, metallic liquid, making it tangible. In the Follow Me minigame, we see William destroy Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, and then he presumably collects the remnant and injects it into the Funtime animatronics. Or, you know, he uses the scooper to inject it, but that's not the point right now. The only counter-argument for this is that we see William dying in the safe room, so how could he possibly inject the remnant? And my answer is pretty simple. Follow Me takes place over the course of multiple days, or nights, I'm guessing. Each day, William destroys only one animatronic and injects the children's remnant one at a time. So really, it was only Golden Freddy's remnant that didn't make it into the Funtimes, because even if William destroyed him off camera and collected it, he never injected it because he, you know, died. So the other children should now be the Funtimes, right? Well, not really. After all, how can their spirits be stuck in the Funtime animatronics if we see them as spirits later on in the minigame? My explanation is that Remnant doesn't equal souls. While Remnant is the material/energy that can bind a soul to an inanimate object and bring it to life, you don't necessarily need a soul to bring something to life. I mean, let's look at the Funtimes. They're alive, right? They're aware that they're stuck in this underground bunker and they want out. But this doesn't necessarily mean that they have actual souls. As I said, we see the souls that are supposed to be in them cornering William Afton, very much free and not stuck in a metal robot. Instead, what I think happened is that the Remnant brought the animatronics' pre-programmed personalities to life, and possibly gave them some of the anger that the missing children felt toward a certain purple man. So, to put it simply, the Funtime's programmed personalities were now real. They're not just code anymore, they're feeling real things. And unfortunately for Mike, they felt very strongly about wanting to get the heck out of here. Also, let's all remember that if Remnant contained the literal souls of the children, that would mean that the leftover Remnant in the scooper that went into Michael and kept him alive also injected some kid's spirit into him, which is a door I do not want to open.
Ooh, don't open that door.
So how does this connect to Happiest Day? Well, let's go back to the Follow Me minigame. This is where we see the souls of the children corner William Afton and watch him get springlocked. I believe this was their happiest day, or the thing that helped them get to their happiest day. They finally got their vengeance. They were finally freed of their animatronic costumes. They can move on. I believe Happiest Day takes place right after this scene. The spirits of the missing children, and who is probably the crying child, enjoying their party before finally letting go of their anger. Except for one of them. Well, two if you count the puppet. But right now we're gonna focus on the vengeful spirit Cassidy. Even after seeing her killer dying in the spring Bonnie suit, she still can't move on. She has to make sure that he's really dead. More than that, she has to make sure that even after death, he continues to suffer for his crimes. So she manages to attach herself to William's soul, much like Andrew from the Fazbear Fright stories. This is what allows her to mentally torment William in Ultimate Custom Night. She was waiting for him to finally die just so she could continue to torment him in his own mind. Also, in FNAF 3's good ending, we don't see the Golden Freddy mask, but shouldn't we see it have one light turned on in its eyes to symbolize that the vengeful spirit hasn't moved on? Well, technically the spirit is no longer in the mask, but instead is attached to William's soul, so I would say no. Also, and this one bothered me for a little while, why do we see the graves of the missing children only after FNAF 6 if they already moved on in FNAF 3? My answer is that while FNAF 3 is when they got their revenge on their killer, seeing him get springlocked is what allowed their spirits to move on, FNAF 6 is when they got their closure. The graves symbolizing that not only do they not have to worry about being stuck in an animatronic suit, but they can also sit back and relax knowing that William is burning in hell. Alright, well that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye bye!